Hello everybody, this is the Rabid Hedgehog, and now I am taking out the little 2015 TU250X. I love little bikes like this. This is the bread and butter of bikes. So simple and so wonderful. I just have to say, I love this bike right now. You know, just because of how simple and simplistic it is, and the old school style it is. 5-speed transmission, not a 6-speed, nothing special here. It is a 250 single cylinder thumper. It actually is fuel injected. We were actually discussing that a little bit ago with the guys from Suzuki, so that's pretty cool. It's got that single cylinder engine braking. It actually responds not too tight and not too much. But boy, this little thing is tiny, man. It's tiny and it's light, and I mean it doesn't move, that's for sure. That's what they're saying. They're gonna put me in the back, not for a reflection of myself, but because of the fact that it is a little slow. But you know what? This is a commuter bike, and that's the whole point about this. This is your city commuter bike. This is not to be up in the front or anything like that. This is designed to just kind of cruise on around town, get good gas mileage, and enjoy that. Because this bike gets about, I think they said about 70 miles per gallon, so not too bad at all. But I love the simplicity. I really do. I mean, especially the fact that it's simplicity with fuel injection, so it really makes it more simple. As you can see on the dashboard, you got your simple lights, you got your bright, your turn signal, that's a fuel injection warning light, and then you got fuel gauge, or actually a fuel light on it, and neutral, so not too much going on there. This bike so far has only done 118 miles, so it hasn't been broke in yet. Probably not loved that much. Feel kind of bad for him. He's not a bad rider. He was riding a Jex, I think it was a Gixxer 750 earlier, but he's just not used to those kind of bikes, and he actually took out the dual sport first, and he wasn't quite able to handle it. It was a little too tall for him, so and he went ahead and switched with the highway patrolman back there. But other than that, I think that's why we switched spots there. But anyway, about this bike here, let me drop this down. There we go, get some power. Gotta wring its neck a little bit to get it going. There's 40. But I mean, it's a wonderful little bike. I mean, this bike is just honest engineering. It's tiny, it's very light, very simplistic. Uh-oh, mirror's loose. At least I know that now. So it's tiny, simplistic, very well built. I mean, I'm looking at it, and even though this is going to be one of their cheaper bikes, it's a very well built machine. So I'm kind of liking that about this. Trying to remember the course here. Did we go straight? I think we did. Keeping an eye on my pack here. Let's go, let's go, let's go! Love this little bike, I really do. Alright, let him lead the way. That way we can catch back up. Let's see if I can keep with him here. But, I mean, when it comes down to, like I said, Suzuki makes fantastic bikes, and the TU250X has been around for a long time. It took a small hiatus there. I think it was a 1-year hiatus, and they brought it back because it's just a popular little bike. I mean, it's a fantastic little classic racer kind. I mean, it's just honest. I mean, that's all I can say about it. I mean, the engine buzzes like it's supposed to. It vibrates the way it's supposed to. I mean, it just gives me nostalgia for this bike. It's a nostalgia thing.
Yeah, we needed to go after 59.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, you've been on his board. I was like, ah, you fucker.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember where we were going to turn left at, but there it was. So here we go. I mean, this little bike turns. I love it. I mean, like I said, I don't have any complaints on this bike at all. It's just magnificent. I mean, it doesn't rattle, doesn't shake. Like I said, the engine vibrates like crazy. It's not a long-term bike. It's just a city dweller bike. I mean, it's one that you can just hop on and go to a local restaurant with your friends, eat and ride back and enjoy the ride. You know, stuff like that. It's very good for that. I haven't been on the interstate with it yet, but I know it's not going to do very well. But I don't care. I would like to see what it can do. I know in my hands I could probably do all right. I hope I can. So let's see what we can do here. I do like this transmission. I mean, everything on this, even the brakes right there, because I had the hard brake there, responds really well. I mean, for the older style bike that this is, it does very well for itself. Yeah, this is getting separated from the group's kind of funny, but oh well. But this bike actually, I mean, like I said, it's not the fastest in the world. I'll get you an impression of the highway here in a moment. But I mean, the way it turns, the way it sounds, the classic nature of it, I like the sound of it. The little 250 thumpers, or you know, little thumpers in general, sound pretty cool to me. They just have that agricultural sound to them. You know, like they should, in my opinion. They're just honest. I mean, that's just all I can say about it. It's honest. And it's a 30-inch seat height. Like I said, it's gonna be, in general, very easy for most people to get on. I can flat foot this bike very, very easily, and I mean, it only weighs, I think, 380 to, it's under 400 pounds, I'm pretty sure. I think it's 380. And I mean, it's just enough. I mean, it really is. It's just a delight. I mean, it's so comfortable. The seating is awesome. I mean, I'm not leaning on my wrist at all. My arms are actually down and tucked in, you know. And then my legs are just straight down and on the pegs, and it feels really good. Oh, I love the way this thing handles through these little corners. I know these aren't very big corners or anything like that, but I mean, it drops and goes. I'm just accelerating through it. I'm just like, come on, everybody, go! Oh, I love bikes like this. They're just so honest. They're fun. It doesn't matter how slow they are. They're just fun. Oh my gosh, this thing just makes me smile. So when it comes down to, like, if you're thinking about a smaller displacement bike, I'll never call a bike a beginner bike. All bikes are to whatever they are to anybody. I mean, if you're a rider and you just want to commute, you don't need a giant bike. You don't need all the horsepower. You don't need all that extra fancy stuff. You just need, you know, the ability to ride places and things like that. So if you don't need a big bike to run around in the city, then don't buy one. Get something like this that's simple and wonderful and will still provide the ride feel and just make you laugh and happy. And that's what this bike is. It's cheap. I want to say it's just about $4,100. I'll have to make sure on that. I'll get you a spec on that. I mean, if you whale it, it sounds cool. Whale on it, let her go. Oh, I love this thing. Need to signal the guy we're leaving our rider behind there. Hopefully he'll catch up. Let's see, I don't see him right now. That's kind of worrying me. There he is. I'll slow down for him. That way he can catch up with me. There he comes. But anyway, back to the TU250. I mean, when you look at this bike, I mean, I need to do some pictures of it, and I'll post them on here as well. But it looks like your old classic sport bikes from the 70s. And I mean, it's just as honest as those are. It's thin-tired. It's spoked wheels. It's, you know, just honest to goodness, good old classic biking. And I mean, I love this thing and the way it feels and the way it responds and acts. That's a fun little hop. Okay, now we're coming up on the interstate here. I'll let you know how this goes. Oh, by the way, the suspension on this bike, I mean, except for that hump we just hit, has been very, very adequate. Very, very spongy. I mean, tight enough for the good turns, but spongy enough to absorb the bumps here in Oklahoma. Whee! Let's do this. I'm up to 50. Of course, I can't go any faster than 131. Okay, we're gonna pull over. Wait for the other guys to catch up.
I'm gonna wait for them if I can get a hold of them. This thing has a hazard button on it.
That's pretty nice.
It has a hazard button.
Harleys?
Well, those, if you hit both turn signals, will do it.
Well, mine actually has a straight up hazard button on it.
Does it?
Yeah, I have a Sportster though. I don't know if the big touring ones do. Okay. Is that just your regular radio, or is that your Cena?
Do I?
Is that your regular radio or your Cena?
No, just regular 800 megahertz radio.
Oh, okay.
Whenever they go by, just fall in with them.
Okay. There we go. Flat out, but still catching him. I mean, well, no, I'm not catching him. Tried to catch. I don't even mind the wind. I mean, there's barely any buffeting. I've gotten to that point where my neck is so strong, I don't care about buffeting. It doesn't even bother me anymore with wind. So that's not the issue. I've gotten flat out on this hill. It's just 65. That's the speed limit here, luckily. But I am nowhere close to catching these guys. Oh, but this bike, like I said, this is a good city runabout. This isn't your long-range bike. This is not designed for, you know, tearing up the highways like this. This is your back roads, maybe your state highway kind of bikes where you can go down some scenic routes and things like that, and only keep it to that. And don't try to take it out on the interstate very often, but you know, if you can, and you're in the middle of the city, usually it's 60 miles an hour is your top speed. This bike will hit 60 fine. It holds 65 better, but it really can't get to 70. I mean, I'm trying my best to make it to 70. And it's doing everything it can. And I mean, here's the thing. This bike is not feeling like a rattle trap trying to get to 70. This actually is holding very steady. I mean, it is not, you know, that terrible. It's actually doing just fine. You know, even at this speed with the thinner tires, with the wind we have, as you can see by the flags over there, I mean, we've got some pretty good wind. I don't feel like I'm being blown around or anything like that. It feels tight. It feels good. It's just not quick at all. But I still love her. I mean, it's one of those, I just gotta love it because of what it feels like. It feels good. You know, when you're riding around the city, it feels comfortable. It does buzz, but I mean, give it a break. It's 250cc, but like I said, at least it does benefit a little bit from the fuel injection system and things like that. So that's the good thing about it. So interstate riding, I will say heck no on this bike unless you're in city, and that's the only thing you're going to be worrying about. But if not, then, you know, I recommend this bike as an everyday kind of commuter if you're going between things in the city and just wanting to enjoy riding a bike no matter, you know, what time it is or anything like that. You can just throw your leg over on this bike because it's so simple, so honest, and real easy to do with. So anyway, this is the Rabid Hedgehog, and this is the honest review of the TU250X. I don't know which bike I'm going to go for next, but I'm going to try to grab another one as soon as I get back to the dealer up here. We'll catch you on that ride.